We're entering a new era of laser sporting with the introduction of the Helios 2 system. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys my thoughts on the best way to hold the phaser. But before we get into the video, quick message from me. Welcome to 2024. Huzzah, we made it. We've got another big year for Laser Sports Academy planned in 2024. Lots of very exciting things on the horizon, so stay tuned. But I think at the end of last year, we were able to get a Twitch affiliate, which is awesome. We're looking at upgrading like the stream and maybe doing some more regular streams and stuff to really, got Twitch affiliated, might as well actually stream. So that's got on the cards for this year. But also, we're working towards the next goal of getting to like the kind of the equivalent of that on YouTube. So we need to get to 500 subscribers and we need to get our watch hours up as well. So if you haven't already, we would appreciate if you subscribed. 26% of our viewers aren't subscribed yet. So, if you're watching the videos anyway, might as well give us a cheeky one, hey? On top of that, in case you missed it, we also have a merchandise store now. Ooh, Laser Sports Academy merch. More merch. More merch. Ooh, bloody hell. Where is he? There he is. Bam. Yeah, so we're going to be including the links for those in like all of the YouTube videos from now on, because I realized I posted it in the Facebook group on a once off, and then there's been nothing about the merchandise store since. So yeah, that's going to be in the links for the YouTube videos and stuff. So if you want to help support the Laser Sports Academy brand, rep the brand, be like, yeah, Laser Sports Academy is cool and I'm proud to be a fan, you can cop some merch. And we'd really appreciate that. But yeah, enough from me. We'll get back to me, but about the video for today. Okay, cool. So, how to hold the Helios 2 phaser, or what's the best way to hold the Helios 2 phaser? So, I think to begin with, it's important to point out that I think the need to hold it one way over another is way less than it was on Helios Pro. So, like Helios Pro with the hand sensor being on the sensor being on the top. It basically meant if you wanted to be competitive, you have to play screen in, right? Just because it was way too strong to be able to lock that thing on a wall and like have zero threat of a phaser shot. With the addition of the barrel sensor and also just the fact like you can kind of shoot the whole phaser itself as well. Whether it's screen in or screen out is less important, but I still do think there are some important pros and cons to go over to help you decide which one you want to use. So we'll start by talking about the screen in variations, which I personally think is the best one. All right, so to start off, we'll talk about the three main pros of the screen in variation. So pro number one is the number of points of contact that you have with the hand sensor. So obviously the hand sensor is pretty much the entire length of this, except where that screw is, which we'll get to a little bit later. But when you play screen in, you have more points of contact with that thing than you would on the other variations, which means there's less chance of that hand sensor going off when you're trying to do like your switch grips or whatever, or just like a lunge, and your hand gets a bit sweaty and you're moving around a little bit. Less chance of that happening. So that's pro number one. Pro number two is the ease, specifically of the reverse switch. So the standard switch is totally doable in this variation. You kind of have to roll your arm out the way just because of how long the phaser is and the Gundam is. You have to roll your arm out the way, but super doable. You can definitely, with a bit of practice, you can get really quick at that one. But a big pro is the ease of the reverse switch. The reverse switch is when the Gundam goes from here, downwards, and then to the other side. With the screen in, because of just the parts of the phaser that you'll be holding, it's really easy to pull that off, and you can do it nice and quick, and it feels comfortable. It doesn't feel like I'm losing control of the phaser, so that's a big pro for screen in. And the last one, which is a little bit more of a one percenter, but still an important differentiation to make, is to do with the difference in where the IR versus the laser is. So this big circle here down the barrel, on the screen outside is where the laser is. The three dots here is on the screen inside, okay, and that's where the IR is. Now, if we imagine I'm on a panel that's like here, and I'm trying to be really quick about my shots because of how easy it is to shoot the barrel. In doing so, maybe, let's say my hand is the panel, I'm taking my shot and not the entire barrel comes out, like half of the barrel comes out. If I play screen in, the IR is the furthest thing out. So the IR will still land on my target as long as I'm accurate, even if the laser doesn't land on them. So whereas if I was playing screen out and I take that same shot on someone, the laser is the furthest thing out. So I might see my laser come out and it'll land on the person, but there's a chance that my IR will get blocked by the wall, or a slightly greater chance that IR gets blocked. Again, definitely a 1%er, but at the end of the day, if you're wanting to compete at the highest levels, I think collecting as many of those 1%ers as you can is super important. You know, you hate to be the guy, you know, you're in a golden game to get into a finals, or it is the finals. You're 2 shots onto a base, you have to shoot this one dude coming in, all right? And you play screen out, and you take that shot, your IR gets blocked by the wall because you're trying to be quick about it, and that person denies you. And then that ends up being, like, if you'd gotten that base, you would have made the finals, or you would have won the tournament. So, a 1%er, but, you know, add up enough 1%ers, and that can be the difference maker between, you know, winning those really important games or not. But I will talk a little bit about the screen out variation, because again, it's not going to be the end of the world if you play screen in versus screen out. But I'll just point out some pros and cons that I find with the screen out variation. So to start off with a pro, I actually think that the standard switch, where the Gundam goes up and over, is easier on the screen out than screen in. That's just because when I play screen in, as we said before, like, you kind of have to roll your arm to get the barrel sensor, to get the barrel through, because it's so long. Whereas when I play standard, when I play screen out, I can kind of just like lift my fingers up, spin it, like leave my thumb on, spin it, take my shot, and then I can come back, and you can do that really quick and easy. So the standard switch is actually a little bit better on screen out versus screen in. So if you are a big standard switch user, then maybe screen out will be, that'll be the reason why you play screen out over screen in. However, the thing I don't like about screen out is that the reverse switch is, I won't say impossible, but it's much more difficult than it is on screen in. So, and a big part of that is because there is no trigger guard. So when you play screen out and you go to do a switch, there's nothing for you to really catch your finger on. There's just like open space. So I've been finding, like, in my own practice at the pre-nets tournaments for Hobart, I was finding when I was trying to do reverse switches, I found the Phasor like almost running away from my finger, and I'm having to like chase it, right? Whereas when you have it screen in, like, you've got a bit more of a solid grip on the Phasor, and you can kind of just flick your finger there. So that's a big con. As someone that uses the reverse switch quite a lot, that's a big con for me, and the reason why I don't like the screen out variation. So those are the main reasons why I would choose screen in over screen out. But there's one last thing I want to cover. Something that I think you should be conscious of is to do with the hand sensor itself. So the hand sensor just runs along this part of the Phasor, except where that screw is, right? So a decision that you'll have to make in terms of how you hold the Phasor is whether you go forward or back from the screw. And to quickly just go over the pros and cons again, I think if you go back from the screw, you have more surface area to use, like, and more room to work with. So I think there's less chance of the hand sensor going off if you go back from the screw. However, if you're going to do your standard switches and you're back from the screw, it means there's more of the Phasor that you have to roll your arm out the way of, especially if you play screen in, right? However, when you go forward of the screw, there's less of the hand sensor, like it's only like 2 fingers width there, but you're closer to the end of the Phasor, so like doing your switches, I think feel a little bit easier, a little bit smoother and quicker. So, you know, again, I think the difference of like whether you're forward and back from the screw, ultimately just choose what's comfortable, but those are some of the things that I considered personally when it came to whether I was forward or back from the screw. But anyway, there you have it. That's our first little instructional video of 2024. Many more to come. Let me know which way you hold the Helios 2 Phasor. And if you have any questions about anything I said or any of your own thoughts, you know, let us know in the comments. I'm curious to hear. You know, it's a new system, super exciting. And yeah, I'm eager to hear what other people have to say. But yeah, I think for me, screen in is objectively the best one. You've just got more options. You've got more surface area on the hand sensor, so there's less chance of that happening. Yeah. But at the end of the day, who am I to tell you how to hold the phaser? You do whatever you like. Until next time, goodbye. See ya. Oh.